Hello there, lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV main news today, the 5th of February in the year 2025. Let's take a look at the headlines. USAID suspends global operations, lays off staff amid funding halt. MONGU suspect dies in police custody under mysterious circumstances. Court slaps MWAMBA with bench warrant. In international news this evening, Egypt and Palestine reject Trump's plan to relocate Palestinians. And in sports, Marcus Rashford faces £1.5 million blow as Nike slashes sponsorship deal following Aston Villa move. Join me for more stories after this break.
To all our esteemed Camnet viewers, on behalf of the Camnet TV board and management, we extend our deepest gratitude to the government and MultiChoice Africa for the opportunity of having worked together for 7 years. Your support and partnership have been instrumental in our journey, allowing us to reach audiences with impactful, life-changing content that informs, educates, and inspires. To our loyal viewers who were born for greatness, we are immensely grateful for your unequivocal, unwavering support, trust, and engagement that have been the driving force behind making Camnet TV a household name for all these years. Your continued encouragement has empowered us to grow, evolve, and remain dedicated to delivering quality programming. As we move forward, we want to reassure you that Camnet TV is not closing at all. We are transitioning to a full digital platform, embracing innovation to serve you even better. This evolution will enable us to expand our reach, enhance viewer growth, experience, and remain a very strong voice in the media industry. In this transition, we remain deeply committed to upholding and taking to greater heights the vision and legacy of our beloved late chairman, Pastor Moses Kangwine Chiluba. His dedication to truth, excellence, and faith-driven broadcasting continues to inspire us. And we will ensure that his mission lives on through the help of our Lord Jesus Christ and Camnet TV's future endeavors. Thank you once again for your unwavering support and belief in us. Within 2 weeks, please download and watch Camnet TV on KenStream from the Play Store and the App Store. The best is yet to come.
To present Camnet TV main news in detail, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. The United States Agency for International Development, USAID, has laid off employees worldwide following the suspension of funding by the U.S. government on January 21st, 2025. In an official notice, USAID Acting Deputy Administrator for Policy and Planning, Pete Marocco, confirmed that only essential personnel handling mission-critical functions, core leadership, and designated programs will remain on duty. Mr. Marocco further stated that the agency, in collaboration with the missions and the Department of State, is preparing plans to facilitate the return of overseas staff within 30 days. Additionally, laid-off personnel have been restricted from performing any duties under USAID without proper supervision. Despite the layoffs, USAID has assured employees that it will continue receiving salaries during the suspension period. We now go to Western Province, where a 40-year-old man, Sitwala Nawa, has died under unclear circumstances at MONGU Central Police Station after being apprehended by a combined team of Zambia Police and Fisheries Department officers. Mr. Nawa was suspected of stealing fish pigs, which he allegedly loaded into his vehicle before his arrest. Western Province Police Commissioner David Chileshe confirmed the incident to Camnet News, stating that the suspect was intoxicated when placed in police cells. While in detention, he reportedly became violent and began hitting himself against a grill door. Commissioner Chileshe added that fellow inmates alerted patrolling officers about the situation before Nawa was later pronounced dead. He has since urged the family to remain calm as investigations into the cause of death continue. Details in the following report.
A 40-year-old taxi driver, Stralanawa, who was arrested and allegedly accused of stealing 5 pigs, has died in MONGU Central Police cells. It was believed that the late Strala was found carrying 5 pigs in his car, which officers suspected to have been stolen. Western Province Police Commissioner David Tileshe confirmed the development and urged the family members to be calm as investigations are going on to establish the cause of his death.
The report was that one suspect, Mr. Sitwalanawa, aged 40, who was detained in police custody on 31st January 2025 at around 20:57 hours for being in possession of property suspected to be stolen or unlawfully obtained, died whilst in police custody under unknown circumstances. Brief facts of the matter were that police officers who were on patrol together with the Fisheries Department apprehended the deceased along MONGU Kalabo Road, who was found driving a Toyota Corolla, registration number ACP 7987, which was carrying about 5 big pigs, which were suspected to be unlawfully obtained or stolen. We wish to categorically state that the case is under investigation. We want to know exactly what happened, and after that the matter will proceed for an inquest.
The mother to the deceased Mwendaba Nyambe has called for justice in the case of her son and for the culprit to be brought to book.
Is being brutalized or battered. I don't know who. I'm not going to disclose here Kimapokola, Kapakima inmates. I don't know. But the fact is that my son has been killed by a human being, not himself. Kambe aluzivi. Chwale, kalwa kana. I need justice for my son. And if Akainde is listening, I want justice for my son. He just cannot go like that.
Meanwhile, some taxi drivers and other MONGU residents echoed similar concerns and are appealing to the other investigative wings to intervene in the matter.
Human rights kambi bakona kutolyemera kotene kakuli luna kamoli kangambo losele kwamba ndwana mapokola bakafera kuseba ukola kuli balutusa kono ukona kukupoka kotene ba human rights kutibakona kutusa kotene batolyemera matene mataba mo kuli investigation is a my hand
nibule yakuli tabaye mapokola abasika ezande ndeke bona bo president balutani mefateni fataba yase
Musiewa Kabira, Camnet News in MONGU District, Western Province.
The Cross-Border Network of Africa has called on the Southern African Development Community, SADC, to urgently intervene in the escalating conflict in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Speaking to Camnet News, Chairman General Bernard Skunyongana expressed concern over the negative impact of border closures on regional trade, stressing that the disruption has stalled exports and crippled economic activities. He also highlighted the worsening humanitarian crisis, with thousands of families displaced due to the violence. Mr. Skunyongana has since urged SADC to act swiftly to restore stability in the region.
The wars in Congo really is something that in the region we should not always have it, because wars makes things to be on standstill. When you talk of trade, Goma right now as I'm speaking, trade is on standstill. And when you look at the huge supply of goods and services that we are taking to Goma, we're taking to Rwanda, right now as I'm speaking they are on standby. So we do not support the wars. We actually appealing to SADC. If there's a way that quickly negotiations can begin, let it be so. Because trade now is at standstill. When you talk of people, movement of goods for people to eat, people have been displaced, families are suffering. So for me, really something that we are not happy with it. SADC should quickly convene a meeting and stop this war. Negotiations should be there. These are countries, from each other within the region. So it should not continue. It should not continue. Because trade now is affected.
Some small and medium enterprises, SMEs in Lusaka, have raised concern over rising business challenges, citing high operational costs, lost sales, and limited financial support. One of the business owners, Francis Mukuka, told Camnet News that 2024 was particularly difficult due to load shedding, which disrupted industrial operations. However, he expressed optimism that 2025 would improve, commending the government for investing in alternative energy sources and importing electricity to stabilize power supply. Meanwhile, Small Medium Enterprise Association of Zambia, Director of Mines and Mineral Resources, Ngobola Muyembe, has urged the Citizen Economic Empowerment Commission to prioritize funding for businesses with positive cash flow instead of those that previously failed due to political influence. He has emphasized the need to reward responsible borrowers and ensure better monitoring of loan recipients to drive real economic impact. Details in this report.
With the economy drastically going down, the business landscape in the country has been one that has seen many small medium enterprises, SMEs, at the exit door. Last year, owing to the drought, several businesses were disrupted, especially those reliant on power supply like barbershops, saloons, and butcheries. This development has continued to affect businesses across the country. Coupled with the high cost of living, businesses are suffocated, with many at the verge of dying. Given this predicament, Francis Mukuka, a trader in Lusaka, lamented the inconsistent power supply, which has severely affected his enterprise.
2024 came with its own challenges as regards to business. Operations were very challenging because we had to face load shedding. It was rampant. As you are aware, the industry requires a steady supply of power. So due to the drought, we experienced a massive load shedding by this. However, we strived to put through. We tried our level-based. We tried to use alternative sources of energy that includes gensets, the solar backup systems, and many other alternative ways of trying to put through and make sure that the industry thrives.
Meanwhile, the Small Medium Enterprises Association of Zambia has urged the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission to render financial assistance to SMEs to help them sustain their business.
Everyone who was borrowing from CEC in the past was actually a business person. Some of those people who were borrowing were politically connected and influential people. So what they should focus much more on is work on businesses that have positive cash flow, instead of focusing on people that they think can influence, can look good on paper. To the public, but not really on paper. So the failure rates in every country, they normally give those to small businesses, but they have to have a way of monitoring the performance.
Barbara Mlenga for Camnet News in Lusaka.
The Zambia Federation of Disability Organizations, ZAFOD, is calling on the government to train teachers and lecturers in learning institutions to be equipped with knowledge and skills to handle learners with disabilities. Zafford Programs Manager Mishek Mutamba observes that most learning facilities in the country are inaccessible to learners with disability, hence questioning the goal for inclusive education. Mr. Mutamba also urges institutions to consider persons with disabilities when building infrastructure to create a more inclusive and supportive learning environment, accommodating the needs of all learners regardless of status. Meanwhile, Special Education Teachers Union of Zambia has commended the government for including persons with disabilities in the new curriculum, citing it as a significant step towards promoting inclusive education. Union Senior Curriculum Development Specialist Cornelius Chitukwa says the new curriculum takes into account the needs of learners with disabilities, providing a framework for teachers to adapt their teaching methods to accommodate students with different abilities. He, however, calls on government to provide more resources and training for teachers to support implementation of the new curriculum and make it more effective.
Education, and also ensuring that the child with a disability does not only enter into school but progresses up to college and university, including adjusting all regular schools in Zambia to be accessible to children with disabilities. So children in the remotest part of the country do not need to come to Lusaka to find a special school. They should be able to access quality education next to their home, in wherever they are. That's our ultimate desire and goal. And so, speaking to the new curriculum, with the engagement we've had with government, we particularly, for example, been assured that, for example, mathematics will be taught to learners with visual impairment, which has been a difficult thing to do in the past. So the curriculum, if well implemented and teachers are trained, including implementing a disability inclusion course in universities and colleges, so teachers who are graduating from these training institutions, have the skills to teach children with disabilities. I think the curriculum will be able to speak to the needs of children with disabilities. And what are these needs of children with disabilities? Like every child, a child with a disability needs has got what are called children's rights, and one of the major fundamental right is right to education. But children with disabilities have even disability rights besides, such as allowed to participate, allowed to access the physical environment, allowed to participate when they are still young, to interact, to socialize with other children. Number one, when it's time for them to go to school, to receive parental support, to be assured that they are not different from other children. That's very important for any child, whether with a disability or without.
As you may be aware, these learners do not proceed to grade 6 to Form 1 or into Form. They don't proceed in that way. They proceed in levels. So they finish level 1, level 2, level 3, then they go for skills training. So this syllabus, which is a this new curriculum, which is a competence-based curriculum, is there to be inclusive and it hasn't left anyone behind. It will be effective because the teaching and learning materials will be produced at the same time with the ordinary learners. It will be effective because teachers will be capacity built into the newly developed materials to handle learners with special education needs and or disabilities. It will be effective because it will be a hands-on curriculum which will emphasize on what the learner is supposed to do as opposed to what the learner is supposed to know. So this is how effective it will be. And also, in addition, after the tendering procedure has been done for material production, 10% of the entire tender money will go towards the production of learners of materials for learners with special education needs and or disabilities. So in this case, they won't be treated as an afterthought the way it has been in the past, where for them, the materials have been produced after distribution of the learners for ordinary learners.
Lusaka-based political scientist Neo Simutanyi has advised the government to proceed with the case of fugitive lawmaker Emmanuel J. Banda, even in his absence, in order to clear any misconceptions about his arrest and escape. In an interview, Dr. Simutanyi stressed that the case is complex and it is important to clarify the reasons behind declaring Banda's seat vacant. He noted that in other jurisdictions, legal cases can be resolved without the physical presence of the accused, and he urged the government to consider this approach to resolve the matter swiftly. Dr. Simutanyi also called for fairness in elections, stating that no part of the country should be threatened by political parties for not voting for them.
Personally, we have to distinguish between why he ran away from the country and the motivation to declare his seat vacant. I think they are different things. You see. Whether his prosecution had to do with getting his seat is a matter of conjuncture. What I think is important is that he's a citizen of Zambia and he enjoys the rights of any citizen. And in my view, we cannot know his innocence until he's cleared by a court of law. So if I'm accused of an offense and I don't go through the court process, but instead jump bail if I'm on bail and run away out of the country, it will be difficult for me to prove my innocence. So it's important to prove your innocence by going through a court process. Then you are able to be discharged by a court of law and so forth. His case looks like it has stopped because he is not in the country. In other jurisdictions, his case would have gone ahead because he has lawyers here. They would have disposed of the case even in his absence, so that we would have known the evidence that was there or not. Again, that itself is suspicious because they want him in person.
The Advocates for Democratic Governance Foundation has urged the Zambia police to enhance security at polling stations and totaling centers in Pambashe and Petauke constituencies ahead of Wednesday's by-elections. Executive Director Gideon Musonda raised concerns over reported violence during elections in Petauke and called for measures to ensure a peaceful electoral process. He further emphasized the need for the Electoral Commission to enforce compliance with electoral regulations and curb any violations of the Electoral Code of Conduct. Mr. Musonda also warned against political actors attempting to influence voters by setting up food distribution points near polling stations, urging authorities to remain vigilant. Meanwhile, he has encouraged all registered voters to turn out and exercise their right to vote.
Urges all stakeholders to ensure peaceful and credible by-elections in Pambashe and Petauke constituencies scheduled for 6th February 2025. We appeal to all registered voters to exercise their rights to vote for their Member of Parliament. ADEG's primary desire is to see a peaceful atmosphere necessary for the conduct of fair and credible elections. We commend the Electoral Commission of Zambia for engaging various stakeholders, including traditional leaders, women and youth conferences, and political parties to raise awareness on election matters. We urge the ECZ to ensure compliance with electoral rules and regulations and prevent any violations. We also commend political parties in Pambashe for their generally peaceful campaigns, despite acts of provocation. However, we regret the violence recorded during campaigns in Petauke and call for efforts to prevent such incidents on Pode. We reiterate our call on the Zambia Police to heighten security measures around polling stations and totaling centers to ensure peaceful and credible elections. We emphasize the need for all participating stakeholders, including political officials and supporters, to maintain peace and uphold democratic values.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Court, High Court Division, has denied former Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusambo's renewed application for bail pending appeal. A panel of 3 judges, Annie Malata Ononuju, Ian Mabolobolo, and Vincent Siloka, ruled that Lusambo failed to meet the legal threshold for bail under exceptional circumstances. Mr. Lusambo, who is appealing his 4-year sentence for corruption, tax evasion, and possession of properties deemed proceeds of crime, had argued that his continued detention would cause irreparable harm as he risks serving a substantial part of his sentence before the appeal is heard. The court dismissed this concern, stating that the Economic and Financial Crimes Court operates as a fast-track system that must conclude appeals within 5 months, making the argument of delay invalid. The judges also found that Lusambo's appeal had low prospects of success and that new points of law and matters of public interest raised in his appeal would be determined by the Court of Appeal. His legal team had further argued that he is a family provider and not a flight risk, having complied with all bail conditions during his trial. However, the court ruled that being a breadwinner and adhering to bail conditions do not constitute exceptional circumstances warranting bail. Still in court news, the Lusaka magistrate Annie Masoja Chilangwa has issued a bench warrant against Opposition Patriotic Front faction chairperson for information and publicity, Emmanuel MWAMBA, after he failed to appear in court. The warrant was issued after MWAMBA's sureties informed the court that he remained in the United States due to a shoulder injury sustained while playing sports. The court ruled that their explanation was unsatisfactory and ordered the warrant to be returnable on February 26, 2025. Mr. MWAMBA, 52, is jointly charged with 3 others, Jacqueline Chopper, Gideon Tolopa, and Gift Kachingwe, for disorderly conduct at Kawata Police Station in February 2024. They have all denied the charge. One of MWAMBA's sureties told the court that he had an air ticket showing his return to Zambia, which was scheduled for March 4th, 2025, but the magistrate insisted he must appear by February 26th or risk legal consequences. Moving on, in court news, Lusaka Principal Magistrate Sylvia Muninya has sentenced a Zambia Air Force officer and his wife to 3 years imprisonment after convicting them on 7 counts of possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime. Warrant Officer Class 1 Albert Likezo Siunda and his wife Nandila Liatamani were found guilty of acquiring multiple properties worth 7.7 million kwacha between January 2020 and December 2021 without providing credible source of funds. The court rejected their explanation that the properties were bought using income from a boat business in Congo and personal savings, citing inconsistencies and a lack of supporting documentation. The prosecution demonstrated that Siunda registered 6 properties in his wife's name to conceal ownership. The properties include 2 houses in New Kasama worth 3 million kwacha, a block of 2 flats in Mtendere East valued at 1.2 million kwacha, and other houses in Chalala, Lilai, and Ibex Hill. Magistrate Muninya ruled that the couple failed to provide a reasonable explanation for their wealth and did not satisfy the court that the properties were legally acquired. Siunda was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment with hard labor, while Yatamani received a 3-year simple imprisonment term. The couple was arrested by the Anti-Corruption Commission (ACC) in August 2022 and initially pleaded not guilty. They are expected to appeal the verdict. The Zambia Police Service says it recorded a total number of 42,178 GBV cases in 2024, of which 136 were murder cases involving 91 women, 16 men and 17 boys and 12 girls. This follows an annual analysis of gender-based violence data for 2024, revealing critical insights into the prevalence and nature of such cases across the country. Zambia Police Public Relations Officer Reha Monga says that of the cases recorded, 26,402 were criminal cases, while 15,776 were non-criminal cases. He added that the country also recorded 3,796 sexual abuse cases, including 2,646 child defilement cases, comprising 2,627 girls and 19 boys. He explains that of the sexual abuse cases, 492 were rape cases, with 97% of victims being women. Mr. Hamonga further stated that Lusaka Province recorded the highest GBV criminal cases with 7,152 cases, followed by Copperbelt and Western Province.
The Police Service has concluded its annual analysis of gender-based violence data for 2024, revealing critical insights in the prevalence and nature of such cases across the country. A total of 42,178 gender-based violence cases were reported in 2024, compared to 42,965 cases in 2023, reflecting a 1.8% decrease, or 787 cases. Of the total cases, 26,402 were criminal cases, while 15,776 were non-criminal cases. On victim disaggregation, 10,220 children, comprising of 2,006 boys and 5,553 girls in the criminal category, while 2,061 were in non-criminal category, comprising of 1,631 girls and 930 boys, 25,620 women and 6,338 were men. Overall, 32,904 females and 9,274 males were affected. Lusaka Province recorded the highest gender-based violence criminal cases with 7,152 cases. Copperbelt had 12.4% of all the statistics, and Western Province had 11.5%, followed by Tazara Division, which recorded the least with 116 cases.
And that particular police story takes us to our first set of commercials, but do join us for more news when we come back. Please do stay tuned.
To all our esteemed Camnet viewers, on behalf of the Camnet TV board and management, we extend our deepest gratitude to the government and MultiChoice Africa for the opportunity of having worked together for 7 years. Your support and partnership have been instrumental in our journey, allowing us to reach audiences with impactful, life-changing content that informs, educates, and inspires. To our loyal viewers who were born for greatness, we are immensely grateful for your unequivocal, unwavering support, trust, and engagement that have been the driving force behind making Camnet TV a household name for all these years. Your continued encouragement has empowered us to grow, evolve, and remain dedicated to delivering quality programming. As we move forward, we want to reassure you that Camnet TV is not closing at all. We are transitioning to a full digital platform, embracing innovation to serve you even better. This evolution will enable us to expand our reach, enhance viewer growth, experience, and remain a very strong voice in the media industry. In this transition, we remain deeply committed to upholding and taking to greater heights the vision and legacy of our beloved late chairman, Pastor Moses Kangwine Chiluba. His dedication to truth, excellence, and faith-driven broadcasting continues to inspire us. And we will ensure that his mission lives on through the help of our Lord Jesus Christ and Camnet TV's future endeavors. Thank you once again for your unwavering support and belief in us. Within 2 weeks, please download and watch Camnet TV on KenStream from the Play Store and the App Store. The best is yet to come.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our Zesco units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Welcome back and thank you so much for still staying with us. And now in international news. Palestine and Egypt have both rejected President Trump's proposal that the displaced Palestinians in Gaza be permanently resettled outside the war-torn territory. While visiting Cairo, top Palestinian officials, together with Egypt's foreign minister, swiftly rejected and denounced the U.S. proposal that also seeks to take ownership of the enclave. Foreign Minister Badia Abdulati received Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammad Mustafa and Secretary General of Fatah Central Committee Jibril Rajab During the meeting with Mustafa, Abdulati emphasized Egypt's support for the Palestinian people. Trump's suggestion came at a White House news conference with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, where he detailed a plan to build new settlements for Palestinians outside the Gaza Strip and for the U.S. to take ownership in redeveloping the war-torn territory into the Riviera of the Middle East. Here's a roundup of international news.
Palestine and Egypt have both rejected President Trump's proposal that displaced Palestinians in Gaza be permanently resettled outside the war-torn territory. While visiting Cairo, top Palestinian officials, together with Egypt's foreign minister, swiftly rejected and denounced on Wednesday the U.S. proposal that also seeks to take ownership of the enclave. Trump's suggestion came at a White House news conference with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, where he detailed a plan to build new settlements for Palestinians outside the Gaza Strip and for the U.S. to take ownership in redeveloping the war-torn territory into the Riviera of the Middle East. Palestinians, on the other hand, say that Trump's proposal for Gaza violates international law. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas called for the United Nations to protect the Palestinian people and their inalienable rights, saying that what Trump wanted to do will be a serious violation of international law. Other leaders, like British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, says Palestinians must be allowed to return to their homes in Gaza. The Kremlin also reaffirmed on Wednesday that the creation of a Palestinian state is essential for the Middle East settlement.
The Republican Bloc for the Defense of the Constitution, BRDC, calls for transparency regarding the management of the allegedly 30,000 tons of diesel donated by Russia to the Central African Republic. Martin Ziguele, president of the MLPC and spokesperson of the BRDC, questions why this donation is not reflected in the national budget, given that it was made months ago, even before the budget was adopted. Ziguele points out that it was only mentioned after President Putin referenced it during President Touadera's recent visit to Moscow, and he, as a member of the Finance Committee, has not received any official information regarding the donation. The Central African government is reportedly selling Russian fuel at prices significantly higher than the market rate through a Cameroonian shell company. The BRDC insists that the proceeds from the sale of this Russian donation should be included in the state's financial operations table and used to offset cash flow needs. The Aga Khan, who assumed the role of spiritual leader for millions of Ismaili Muslims at the age of 20 while studying at Harvard, has passed away at the age of 88. His passing was announced by the Aga Khan Development Network and the Ismaili community, stating that His Highness Prince Karim Al-Husseini, the Aga Khan 4 and 49th hereditary Imam of the Shia Ismaili Muslims, died on Tuesday in Portugal, surrounded by family. He dedicated a vast fortune amassed from tithes to developing homes, hospitals and schools in underprivileged regions. His will has named a successor, which will be revealed in a ceremony attended by family and senior religious leaders in Lisbon.
And finally, in sports news this evening, Marcus Rashford may, following his loan move to Aston Villa, financial setback. According to Mail Online, the 27-year-old is expected to see a substantial reduction in his sponsorship income from Nike. Rashford has been partnered with the sportswear giant since 2021, having signed a lucrative 7-year contract. And that sporting item brings us to the end of this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But before we go, we take a recap of stories that made headlines. USAID suspends global operations, lays off staff amid funding halt. MONGU suspect dies in police custody under mysterious circumstances. Court slaps EMMANUEL MWAMBA with bench warrant. In international news, Egypt and Palestine reject Trump's plan to relocate Palestinians. And in sports, Rashford faces £1.5 million blow as Nike slashes sponsorship deal following Aston Villa move. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Galatians chapter 5 and verse 16. It reads, I said then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. We end the reading and we end the main news, but dear viewer, like always, do join us on this journey as we transition to digital life as Camnet TV. And remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel. Now, on behalf of the entire production team, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. Good evening and God bless.
To all our esteemed Camnet viewers, on behalf of the Camnet TV board and management, we extend our deepest gratitude to the government and MultiChoice Africa for the opportunity of having worked together for 7 years. Your support and partnership have been instrumental in our journey, allowing us to reach audiences with impactful, life-changing content that informs, educates, and inspires. To our loyal viewers who were born for greatness, we are immensely grateful for your unequivocal, unwavering support, trust, and engagement that have been the driving force behind making Camnet TV a household name for all these years. Your continued encouragement has empowered us to grow, evolve, and remain dedicated to delivering quality programming. As we move forward, we want to reassure you that Camnet TV is not closing at all. We are transitioning to a full digital platform, embracing innovation to serve you even better. This evolution will enable us to expand our reach, enhance viewer growth, experience, and remain a very strong voice in the media industry. In this transition, we remain deeply committed to upholding and taking to greater heights the vision and legacy of our beloved late chairman, Pastor Moses Kangwine Chiluba. His dedication to truth, excellence, and faith-driven broadcasting continues to inspire us. And we will ensure that his mission lives on through the help of our Lord Jesus Christ and Camnet TV's future endeavors. Thank you once again for your unwavering support and belief in us. Within 2 weeks, please download and watch Camnet TV on KenStream from the Play Store and the App Store. The best is yet to come.